New safety concerns on Highway 26.
Tonight's headlines: new evidence bin Laden is alive. Saddam said to plan chemical counterattack if necessary. Massive storm cleanup begins. Also tonight, a new study finds drinking, not smoking, may trigger breast cancer in women. High on America. You'd think Homeland Security would mean weapons like this would be harder to get. Guess again. And a screen that could change the way you see the world. See the flexible future of TV tonight.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. It appears Osama bin Laden is alive, or at least was, very recently. U.S. officials tell CBS News tonight that a new audio tape of bin Laden, aired in the Arab world today, is almost certainly authentic. On that tape, bin Laden praises terror attacks that occurred in October in Bali and Moscow, and he says the United States is, quote, hell-bent on hitting Baghdad. The tape surfaced on the day the Iraqi parliament rejected the UN Security Council resolution ordering Iraq to disarm, leaving the final decision to Saddam Hussein. CBS News correspondent Jim Stewart begins our coverage.
U.S. analysts believe it's no coincidence that on the day Saddam Hussein was making up his mind whether to go to war, Osama bin Laden dramatically reminded the U.S. and its allies they still have him to contend with. The 4.5-minute audio tape was broadcast by Al Jazeera Television, which has often been the way bin Laden communicates. It was addressed to the peoples of the countries that have entered into coalition with the United States. And to prove that he's alive, his message is current. It specifically refers to the recent attack in Bali, as well as last month's bombing of a French tanker off Yemen and the terrorist assault on a Moscow theater. These are a reaction and a retaliation undertaken by Muslims who are defending their religion. Bush is the pharaoh of this day and age, the biggest butchers in history. So why are your governments siding with America? In the same way you kill, you shall be killed. There is nothing in the tape to indicate bin Laden's health or his whereabouts. He was last seen in this video taken in November 2001, in which he looked haggard and possibly suffering from a wound. Another tape of his voice was released 2 months ago, and although analysts confirmed it was bin Laden, they didn't believe the tape was recent. The latest communique apparently establishes that both bin Laden, the chairman, and Ayman Zawahiri, the vice chairman of al-Qaeda, are alive, and that bin Laden appears to be positioning himself with Iraq, even as the U.S. and its allies prepare for a showdown there. Facing both enemies at once has Congress on edge.
We are now in an urgent situation. We could be at war in Iraq 60 days from now. We've got 60 days to try to do everything possible to reduce the likelihood of terrorist attacks here inside the United States.
No matter who's in charge, U.S. analysts believe they've seriously disrupted al-Qaeda, which no longer has a safe sanctuary anywhere. But the fact that bin Laden may have escaped is a serious concern, officials acknowledge, especially with Iraq on the horizon. Dan.
Jim Stewart reporting live from Washington. The impact of bin Laden's threats may have been felt most strongly in Europe, where Britain, France, and other U.S. allies had already picked up signs of new terror attacks in the works. As CBS's Tom Fenton reports, they're now scrambling to prepare for the unpredictable.
Intelligence sources here believe this message may signal an impending attack and that bin Laden is encouraging his followers to shift their targets from America to America's allies, including Britain. Ports along the English Channel are already on a high state of alert following intelligence reports that al-Qaeda operatives could be planning to smuggle a truck packed with explosives onto a ferry. British ports have been holding emergency drills to prepare for the worst. But security experts warn that terrorists may strike where they are least expected.
There is a credible threat of a terrorist incident in the UK. The key for people is not to become preoccupied by one particular type of terrorist threat, say anthrax.
Last night, Prime Minister Tony Blair gave a stark assessment of the threat.
They are looking for ever more dramatic and devastating outrages to inflict upon the people they claim to be their enemy.
Britain, as America's staunchest ally, has felt especially threatened since 9/11. Tonight's message from bin Laden which names this country at the head of a list of potential targets, will only heighten the concern here. Tom Fenton, CBS News, London.
Turning to Iraq, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Iraqi parliament recommended today that Saddam Hussein reject the United Nations Security Council's latest order to disarm. The parliament vote was unanimous, but no one expects that to influence Saddam, who has already indicated he may accept the UN resolution by the Friday deadline. President Bush dismissed today's vote, saying the Iraqi parliament is, quote, nothing but a rubber stamp, and the only thing that counts is what Saddam decides. No one doubts a U.S.-led war to depose Saddam Hussein would be a dangerous undertaking, and planners at the Defense Department are especially concerned that the Iraqis might attack U.S. troops with nerve gas. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin reports Saddam is encouraging those worries.
It is one of the military's worst nightmares. Saddam Hussein fires chemical weapons at American troops as they advance on Baghdad. And Saddam is sending an unmistakable signal that he intends to make that nightmare a reality. Iraq is trying to buy 1 million of these atropine injection kits, which are used as an antidote to deadly nerve agents like sarin and VX. U.S. soldiers are trained to administer atropine to each other, and the fact that Saddam wants it for his own troops is a clear signal he is preparing to use sarin or VX and is taking steps to protect Iraqi soldiers and civilians who could also be exposed to the gas depending on which way the wind is blowing.
Saddam is trying to buy the atropine from a company in Turkey, and the U.S. is doing its best to stop the sale. But whether or not it goes through, Saddam has succeeded in sending the message that this time he intends to use his weapons of mass destruction.
In the last Gulf War, Saddam ordered his military to fire their chemical weapons if he was about to be driven from power. But the U.S. Army stopped well short of Baghdad, and the Iraqis held their fire. Years later, they told then UN Weapons Inspector Charles Dulfer they believed the mere threat of chemical weapons saved the regime.
They were convinced that a strong element of President Bush the Elder's decision not to go to Baghdad was because that the United States knew they had chemical and biological agent and would use them if they proceed to Baghdad.
Now President Bush the Younger is planning to go all the way to Baghdad. And Saddam is threatening in no uncertain terms that this time he will fire those chemical weapons. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
It appears the lame duck session of Congress that opened today will pass President Bush's top legislative priority, creation of a Department of Homeland Security. A compromise has been reached over language in the president's bill that some considered anti-union, and there are now believed to be enough yes votes in the Senate for final passage. The death toll tonight stands at 35, and it could take days to total up the full extent of property damage from the dozens of tornadoes and countless thunderstorms over the weekend. The storm wave raced through the eastern third of the nation, leaving a long path of death and destruction. An example is in one Tennessee town. What's left of it? CBS's Mark Strassman is there.
Victims of this Tennessee twister have no gauge for their despair.
It's hard to comprehend it all.
But this destruction now tells storm investigator Howard Waldron this tornado was at least a strong Category F3 with minimum winds of just under 160 miles an hour.
Around what pops out at you that makes you think that this is an F3?
Well, the fact that the house was pretty well totally destroyed. The debris was carried off in a distance.
A trail of ruin from Ohio to Alabama was caused by this massive storm system. The National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration has counted 88 tornadoes, beginning Saturday night in eastern Arkansas and Tennessee, exploding throughout Sunday in 7 states, and on Monday still menacing Mississippi and Alabama. Tennessee alone had 13 twisters in 30 hours. Its 2 deadliest were in the eastern part of the state, scarring a 4-mile stretch of mossy grove, killing 7 people here.
It's a lot of pain and sorrow.
Fred Henry's sorrow is not just for the house he lost.
The lady in front of me there and the guy back here in this corner house right down here.
Neighbors on both sides of him were killed. Now Henry's house is gone, his spirit crushed.
Those are my close friends. I hear. Mike Williams was my close friend.
This deadly storm system began last Friday. Strong winds in Northern California whipped across America. By Sunday morning, that system had collided with warm air from the Gulf, spawning tornadoes and dumping rain. that continues in North Florida and South Georgia today. But it's one thing to tell a community trouble is coming, quite another to suggest how to cope with the aftermath.
There ain't no word to describe it.
This community is now still looking for its final missing person and a signature from President Bush, declaring this area a federal disaster. Dan?
Mark Strassman reporting live from Mossy Grove, Tennessee. William Webster resigned under fire today as head of a new government agency that is supposed to keep corporate accountants in line. Webster once headed the audit committee of a company under investigation for fraud. But Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Harvey Pitt apparently kept that information from fellow commission members who confirmed Webster. After 3 days of decline, stocks closed somewhat higher today on bargain hunting. The Dow gained 27 points, the Nasdaq 30. Still ahead now on the CBS Evening News, a major study on the impact of smoking and drinking on a woman's risk of breast cancer. The surprising findings next.
We're here showing folks how a packet of Hidden Valley Ranch changes spinach dip into ranch spinach dip.
I like it. Really, it's different.
And changes salsa into ranch salsa.
It's jazzy, pizzazzy.
Hidden Valley Ranch. This changes everything.
Just because a toothbrush is electric doesn't mean it works like a Sonicare. It has patented sonic technology. Sonicare gets your teeth whiter and healthier in just 28 days, guaranteed. See for yourself or ask your dental professional about the Sonicare difference.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
What a marvelous night for the action.
Let's go to the play-by-play.
Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no.
Rejected.
Clyde, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men Brush In Color Gel.
It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Gets rid of strikeouts, too. Just for Men Gel. The Rejuvenator.
You've got one. You've probably got more than one. And chances are one of yours is one of ours, because nobody in credit cards gives you Bank One's range of choices. You could use this one to get cash back, this one to fly, this one to show you care. Fact, Bank One gives you over 1,200 choices. Why do we go to all that trouble? Don't you think somebody should?
Right now, you can get 50% off all lenses at LensCrafters. 50% off every lens we carry, even featherweights and no-line bifocals. No hidden costs or catches. People should definitely not miss this.
Hurry, LensCrafters offer ends soon.
This is for all of us. The ones who just can't get a break from muscle pain. Well, now, we're about to get a big break with ThermaCare, the 8-hour heat wrap. For relieving muscle pain, it's more effective than ibuprofen, the pain reliever in Advil. An incredible 33% more effective. It's a great day for feeling good. ThermaCare. Feel the difference or your money back.
California researchers have found it is medically safe for a woman in her 50s to have a baby using a donated egg. Such a pregnancy is not a problem as long as the woman is in good overall health. But the risk of complications does increase for women over age 55. Results are also in tonight from a major study of drinking, smoking, and how they affect a woman's risk of breast cancer. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon has the findings and how they could actually help women improve their odds.
Doctors have long understood that women who smoke and drink have a higher risk of breast cancer. But a new study finds that for once, tobacco is the innocent party. The real culprit is alcohol.
We now can say quite clearly that smoking has no effect, but drinking does have is associated with an increase in risk.
Researchers analyzed 150,000 women around the world and found no difference in breast cancer risk between smokers and non-smokers. Throwing alcohol into the mix daily significantly increased risk, 6% for every drink after the first.
I think it's very convincing that every ounce of alcohol
makes a difference in risk. And the more you drink, the higher your risk.
The theory is that a lot of alcohol causes liver damage, and since estrogen is normally metabolized in the liver, if the liver is damaged, there are higher estrogen levels in the blood. High estrogen levels are one of the leading contributors to breast cancer risk. The study may cause confusion among some women who've heard for years that tobacco is deadly, and more recently that moderate alcohol consumption may be good for you.
You basically have to balance the risks against the benefits.
Women with family histories of breast cancer will have different worries than those with heart disease, for whom alcohol could be beneficial.
Women who are particularly concerned about their breast cancer risk can actually take this information on board, and if they so wish, they could change their drinking habits.
After all, when it comes to breast cancer risk, there are few factors women can change. Finally, this may be one. Elizabeth Callahan, CBS News, New York.
The FDA today approved the first defibrillators designed for home use. These devices jolt a heart back to normal rhythm and can save lives in the crucial minutes before an ambulance arrives. The home versions sold by prescription are smaller than other portable devices and not as expensive, cost about $2,300. Next here on the CBS Evening News, he has gotten a hard-to-get license for a machine gun. Eye on America shows you how easy it would be for a terrorist to get the same kind of weapon.
Endless recital or endless allergies? When seasonal allergies drain your enthusiasm, Allegra can help. Only Allegra has fexofenadine, so unlike many other antihistamines, it won't make you drowsy. And Allegra gives you 24-hour relief. For people 12 and older, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. So tune back in. Talk to your doctor about switching to Allegra. Once daily Allegra, real relief for real living.
Just when it seems like life couldn't get any better, your whole world can turn upside down. But if you're a Farmers Insurance customer, you can call our new Help Point service the moment it happens. We can answer the questions you can't. Farmers Help Point is here to care and really take care when you need it most. Farmers, get you back where you belong.
Teeth are made out of, like, hard stuff. I don't know. I have 100 teeth. Dental floss.
Our children really need good dental care and education. So Crest came to us and said, we can help.
Do you know how to take care of your teeth?
You could brush your teeth and solve circles.
That's what I want you to do.
I want to have a great smile when I grow up.
Next time you're on the road and you need to fill your tank, here's something to consider. New Shell gasoline is specially formulated to help prevent deposit buildup in your engine, which helps keep it clean. And a clean engine performs better, which is why when they're looking for more from their gasoline, so many drivers choose Shell.
Do you know about the purple pill called Nexium?
I know.
I know.
You should know about it too. Talk to your doctor about whether Nexium is right for you.
Find out about the purple pill called Nexium.
For the best lobster, you could go to Maine. For the sweetest shrimp, you could go to Key West. To get both at the same time, just come to Red Lobster. We've got a juicy Maine lobster tail with succulent shrimp together for just $12.99. Now at Red Lobster.
After Shireen had a baby, she noticed some changes at work.
I almost felt as though I had committed a crime in having a child.
She sued, and she's not alone. Tomorrow, job discrimination against mothers. It's illegal, but it's still happening. Eye on America looks for answers on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
With many Americans concerned about the lag in homeland security, terror threats, and the recent serial sniper case, CBS News and Denver affiliate KCNC have been investigating loopholes in gun laws, some big enough to drive a tank through. For example, regardless of how you feel about guns, you may have no idea how easy it is to convert a legally obtained rifle into an unlawful machine gun. CBS's Cynthia Bowers shows you in tonight's Eye on America.
Mel Bernstein is one of just a few Americans who can do this legally. As a licensed gun dealer, he can buy, sell, and shoot machine guns. Weapons considered so dangerous, their sale is carefully controlled, and buyers are rigorously screened by the government.
You have to be super good to get approved for an automatic weapon. You have to have almost a super clean record. Anything you did in your lifetime could be used against you when you're sending the paperwork to Washington.
16 hammer, selector, trigger, disconnector. Now, is this M16 bolt carrier?
Yes, it is. That's a national match.
But a joint investigation by CBS News and Denver affiliate KCNC found that anyone who wanted to assemble a machine gun could find everything needed for sale at this Colorado gun show. The same gun show where the weapons were bought that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold used in the Columbine massacre.
Well, post-Columbine, we all realized that gun shows were a problem.
And Colorado voters did something about it, passing tough, new, first-of-its-kind legislation requiring background checks be run on everyone who buys a gun at a show, but not on someone buying parts and instructions to turn legal rifles into illegal machine guns, fully automatic weapons capable of firing up to 600 rounds a minute.
I'm outraged.
This man, who asked not to be identified, found out the hard way that just because something's for sale doesn't mean it's okay to own.
I assumed that after Columbine, that would be the safest place. Everything for sale would be heavily scrutinized.
So he assumed it was legal to buy the tiny parts needed to make his semi-automatic rifle fully automatic. Even though he never installed the parts, just having them along with the gun was enough to get him a federal firearms conviction. He now faces 2 years in prison, but it's not the ones they catch that worry law enforcement, it's the ones they don't.
I think the violations do go on at the gun shows, but I think violations go on all over the state, in homes and cars and garages. We can't be everywhere.
One lawmaker who pushed for tighter restrictions acknowledges Second Amendment rights must be protected, but to a point.
You have to be reasonable. No one needs to have a machine gun for self-protection. No one needs to have a machine gun to go hunting.
And it's not just machine guns. As we showed you last night, components to make a bomb were also readily available at this gun show. Components that are easy to buy and easy to build, no questions asked. In Denver, I'm Cynthia Bowers for Eye on America.
3 men who allegedly manipulated computers that tallied bets for last month's Breeders' Cup horse races were indicted today on federal wire fraud charges. The 3, all 29 years old and well-versed in computer science, were fraternity brothers in college. They're accused of conspiring to alter computerized Breeders' Cup betting records to produce a winning ticket worth more than $3 million. Ahead on the CBS Evening News, the plastic fantastic future of TV. And it's coming sooner than you think. Get a sneak preview next.
Some mornings I was so constipated I could hardly finish my route till I tried new X-Lax Ultra. The power of X-Lax in a tiny little pill with guaranteed relief by 8 a.m. Good morning.
New X-Lax Ultra with the X-Lax Good Morning Guarantee. The new Brita Smart Pitcher not only gives you clear, refreshing water, it's the only pitcher that reminds you digitally when to change the filter. The Brita Smart Pitcher. Refreshingly smart.
How about some chicken noodle soup?
Yeah. Ooh, I'll take the Campbell's Select ready to serve, and you take this.
How come you get the Campbell's Select?
Simple. You know how it's made with roasted all-white meat chicken that's now more tender than before?
Uh-huh.
And how Campbell's Select beat Progresso in a nationwide taste test?
Yeah.
Now, remember when you said for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse? Well, I'm going with the better.
Uh-huh. That is better.
Campbell's Select. Experience the simple pleasure of a great tasting soup.
I like to shop every day. 8 a.m. sharp, Sal's Fruit Market. Oh, he's got the best tomatoes in town. When I started chemo, my doctor said that I might become anemic, maybe feel weak. I never expected to be too tired to make it cells. The day that he had to deliver my order was one of the saddest days of my life. Thank you, Sal. ask my doctor about Procrit.
Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. If you're on chemotherapy and too tired to do the things you used to do, talk to your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. And more red blood cells can mean more strength.
Welcome back, Mrs. Mantini.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Buying fresh takes a little more energy, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
French roast. Chef Ming Tsai is attempting to name over 30 Millstone premium coffees by taste alone.
Espresso Mezzo, Swiss chocolate, almond, Cafe Midnight. Organic Aztec Star and Sky.
Millstone has so many exquisite coffees, from light and mild to dark and bold. There's one that's right for you.
Colombian Supremo with a hint of jelly donut.
Millstone. Taste what's out there.
As skiers get ready to head to Mount Hood, there are some new safety concerns on Highway 26. We'll show you what to look out for tonight on Point 6 News at 6.
The U.S. Supreme Court agreed today to decide whether the government may order public libraries to filter out pornographic websites to protect children from cyber smut. Opponents of such internet filters at the library say they violate the free speech rights of adults. We close tonight with a report you'll be telling friends and coworkers about tomorrow. You'll be able to say, last night on the CBS Evening News, I saw the future of television, and people, it is flexible. Here's Jim Axelrod with a picture of things to come.
In the orange light of the clean room at the Universal Display Corporation, scientists are working on technology that would make Buck Rogers smile.
As you can see, it's quite flexible.
It uses something called OLEDs, organic light-emitting devices, a thin film of chemicals 1/10,000th of an inch thick that turns an electronic signal into a picture, much like a TV does.
It's the future of displays.
OLEDs have already been spread on glass and used for cell phone displays. These scientists are perfecting a way to spread them onto plastic to create flexible OLEDs. Hollywood science fiction, right?
Tom Cruise was busy doing this in front of a transparent screen.
What he's doing now we call scrubbing the image, looking for clues as to where the murder is going to happen.
Actually, the future seen in the Tom Cruise movie Minority Report may be just around the corner.
This can be fully functional. This can be a cell phone, it can be a camera, whatever. And then what you would do is pull out your display.
And when you pull out the display, it would look like this.
That's correct.
Imagine a picture phone or internet access.
And then when you're done, just roll it back up.
To achieve this technology's full mind-bending potential, they need to get the screen bigger, the color better. They say they're still some 3 to 5 years away from having this flexible technology ready for mass-marketed consumer products.
But for everyone here, it's a question of when, not if.
I'd like to take my laptop monitor and just fold it up and throw it like that so I don't get bad back from carrying it around.
You can use a display for whatever you use your laptop for now.
They're convinced they've seen both a vision of the future and the future of vision. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Ewing, New Jersey.
What's next? That's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather inviting you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. Why are mothers still facing job discrimination? Eye on America tomorrow. Experience CBS News. Next on Coin 6 News at 6.
Big changes in store for drivers headed up to Mount Hood. How police plan to make that dangerous stretch of road safe.
Flooded parking lots and streets along the Oregon coast, yet is the worst over?
There are lots of ways to go broke, but what leads you into bankruptcy tonight? What's driving millions to ask for a second financial chance?
Now, with Julie Emery and Jeff Gianola. This is Coin 6 News at 6.
Clock across the Northwest. Hello and welcome to Coin 6 News at 6. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Julie Emery. Are you ready to head up to the mountains? With Mount Hood ski areas pushing to open this weekend, the rush will soon be on to hit the slopes, but the ride up to the mountain all too often turns deadly. Highway 26 is one of the most dangerous